Hello, my name is Jack Smallwood, and I'm going to be presenting a talk to you on nutrition and the digestive system. So, first of all, we have 7 key nutrients in the body which we need as part of our diet. I'm going to explain the roles of each of the nutrients, why they are important, and how much of them we should have daily. So, we have carbohydrates, fats, protein, vitamins, minerals, fibre, and water. Carbohydrates. So the main function of carbohydrates is to provide our body with energy. They are known as macronutrients, which means we have to eat lots of them. To be precise, 50 to 60% of our daily diet must purely be carbohydrates. There are 3 different types of carbohydrate, which are the monosaccharide, the disaccharide, and the polysaccharide. The mono and disaccharide are known as simple sugars because they either have no bonds or just a singular bond between the sugar molecules, so they can be broken down very quickly and easily. On the other hand, the polysaccharide is where you have many sugar molecules with lots of bonds. This means they are harder to break down, so are more fulfilling than simple sugars. Examples of polysaccharides are foods such as bread, rice, and potatoes, whereas simple sugar examples are foods such as jam and honey. 1 gram of carbohydrates will give you 4 kilocalories of energy. Fats. Once again, like carbohydrates, fats are macronutrients and have many functions in the body. These functions include providing energy, absorbing fat-soluble vitamins, which help us to have healthy skin and healthy hair. 30 to 35% of our body should include fats. 1 gram of fat will actually give you 9 kilocalories of energy. There are 2 types of fat. These are called saturated fats and unsaturated fats. Saturated fats are better known as bad fats, and unsaturated fats are known as good fats. Saturated fats come from sources such as animal products such as butter and lard, whereas things such as nuts, avocado, and olive oil are unsaturated fats. Proteins. Protein's main role is for growth and repair, however it can be also used as a secondary energy source. 15% of our diet should be made up of proteins. 1 gram of protein is the equivalent of 4 kilocalories of energy, and this is only as a secondary source of energy, so if you use up all of your fat and carbohydrate sources, your protein energy sources will be used. Examples of sources of protein in our diet is foods such as meat, which are complete proteins, and fruits and veg, which are incomplete proteins. A complete protein is one which contains all 20 amino acids, and incomplete proteins do not. Vitamin. Differently from proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, vitamins are a micronutrient, which means they're not to be consumed as a high proportion of our diet. There are 2 types of vitamins. These are fat-soluble and water-soluble. So the fat-soluble vitamins are vitamins A, D, E, and K, and the water-soluble vitamins are B and C. The fat-soluble vitamins are stored in fat tissue around the body, whereas water-soluble vitamins are stored in other places such as urine. I'm now going to tell you about each of the different vitamins, their functions, how much of them we should have per day, where we can find them, and what can happen if we do not eat enough of them. So, firstly is vitamin A. This is a fat-soluble vitamin, and we need around 0.7 milligrams of it per day. It can be found in foods such as dark green vegetables and carrots. Vitamin A is for good sight and healthy skin. If you don't get enough of vitamin A, you could have reduced sight and dry, rough skin. Next is vitamin B. This is water-soluble vitamin, and you should have 40 milligrams of it per day. It can be found in meat, milk, and vegetables, and is a producer of energy. If we don't get enough of it, we could experience a loss of appetite and could find ourselves with muscle cramps. Vitamin C is also water-soluble, and we need 1 milligram of it per day. It can be found in fruit, for example oranges, and it helps our immune system to function properly. If we don't get enough vitamin C, we can experience problems such as bleeding gums. Vitamin D is fat-soluble and can be found in foods such as egg yolk, liver, and also the sun. In fact, the sun should be enough to provide enough vitamin D for us without having to eat anything. Its function is to strengthen our bones and assist with muscle contractions and helps with calcium absorption. If we don't get enough vitamin D, we can have weak bones. Vitamin E is also fat-soluble and can be found in nuts and seeds. Its function is to protect cell walls, and if we don't get enough of it, we can have nerve abnormalities. We should be consuming 4 milligrams of vitamin E per day to ensure this deficiency does not occur. Finally, vitamin K is fat-soluble and assists in the process of blood clotting. It can be found in sources such as milk and cabbage, and if we do not get enough, we can experience defective blood clotting, so any wounds we have will take longer to stop as the blood cannot clot as easily. We should be consuming 0.001 milligrams of vitamin K a day, so this really isn't much to ensure that our body can function properly. Minerals. Similarly to vitamins, there are two types of mineral, which are macrominerals, which you need lots of, and trace minerals, which you need less of. So the macrominerals consist of calcium, potassium, and sodium, and the trace minerals consist of zinc, magnesium, and iron. We should have 1,200 milligrams of calcium per day, as it helps with muscle contractions and bone formation. A source of calcium is milk, and if we don't get enough calcium per day, we can experience loss of muscle contraction and weak bones. Next is potassium. Its function is simply to help with nerve impulses and can be found in foods such as bananas. We should have 1 gram of potassium a day to avoid deficiencies such as reduced coordination. Sodium's function is water balance and is more commonly known to be found in table salt. The deficiency associated with sodium is dehydration, so to avoid this we should consume 5 to 10 grams of it per day. Now on to the trace minerals. Firstly, we have zinc, which can be found in cheese. Its function is to assist the transportation of carbon dioxide, and if we don't eat the daily recommendation of 12 to 20 milligrams, we can experience reduced respiration. Next is magnesium, which is used for reproductive functions. It can be found in peanuts and kidneys, and we should be having 5 milligrams of it per day. Without the 5 milligrams, we could get reproductive failure. Finally, iron is used in the formation of hemoglobin and is found in liver and eggs. 18 milligrams of iron is required to prevent the chance of anemia, which is the deficiency. Fibre. We should consume 18 grams of fibre per day. There are two types of fibre which are insoluble, which is found in foods such as oats and cannot dissolve in water. It also helps your digestive system. The other type is soluble, which can dissolve in water and is found in vegetables. Water. Finally, we have water, and we should be consuming 6 to 8 cups of it per day. Its roles include thermal regulation, so when we sweat it ensures our body stays at the correct temperature and also helps to transport blood around our body and helps our digestive system to run smoothly. We can get water through fluids, so drink, food, and also metabolism. I'm now going to talk to you about the digestive system. Firstly, I will explain the 3 different stages in the digestive system. The first stage is digestion. This is simply the breakdown of foods, so chunks of food and larger pieces of food need to be broken down so they are more manageable for our digestive system to take care of. Next is absorption, and this is when the food has been broken down, the nutrients are taken from the food and the useful ones can be taken by the body and be used. Finally, excretion. This is when the waste product which the body cannot use from the digestive system and is got rid of through excretion out of the anus. I'm now going to walk through a purpose game and explain each part of the digestive system in a little more detail. So, first we have the pancreas. This produces digestive juices and helps the digestive system run smoothly and also helps with the breakdown of foods. Next is the esophagus. This is the pipe which goes from the mouth to the stomach and pushes food down from the mouth using a wave-like motion called peristalsis. Next is the stomach. The stomach is where chemical digestion occurs and where our food is churned into liquid known as chyme, which then goes down into the later stages of the digestive system. Next is the mouth. The mouth is where mechanical digestion happens, such as the grinding of our teeth, which breaks down food into smaller pieces. Saliva, which is made in our mouth, contributes to the breaking down of food, as it enables us to help swallow our food more easily. Next is the small intestine. The small intestine is where absorption takes place, which enables the main nutrients to find their way into the bloodstream and can therefore be utilised by the body. Next is the duodenum. This is the tube which goes from the stomach down to the small intestine and is simply a passageway for the food to travel down when in the digestive system. Next is the rectum. This is found just before the anus and is used to push the food through to the anus before it can be excreted. Next is the liver. This makes the pancreatic juices which help with the process of digestion. The gallbladder. This stores concentrated bile. Bile is one of the digestive juices which helps to break down the food. Next is the anus. This is the end of the digestive system. This is where excretion takes place and the waste products are removed from the body. Next is the large intestine. When food gets to the large intestine, it is no longer digestible and so it is passed on to the rectum. Finally, I'm going to talk to you about how a basketball player's diet is different to a normal person's. A basketball player's diet is high in carbs and low in fat. Most carbohydrates should come from healthy foods such as whole grains, fruits, vegetables, and milk to maximize vitamin and mineral intake. Lean red meat, skinless poultry, seafood, and beans can also help a basketball player to meet their daily protein needs. Unsaturated fat should be eaten regularly to maintain a healthy heart. To be precise, they should be eaten 5 to 7 times a day. Energy levels need to be maintained throughout the day, so snacking every few hours on food such as cereal or low-fat yogurt will ensure the muscles will still be at their best and will not tire as much. Carbohydrates for lunch is a good idea for a basketball player, as if they have a match in the afternoon, the slow-releasing energy which is provided from the carbs will ensure the basketball player can stay active and energized throughout the match. After the match or training session, eating something with protein in it can help build and repair muscles. A 7-foot-tall basketball player is expected to consume 6,000 to 7,000 calories per day. Male basketball players who train more than 90 minutes per day are expected to eat 23 calories per pound of body weight per day. Comparing this to a normal man who needs 2,500 kilocalories to maintain his weight per day, you can see just how much basketball players need to eat to be good at their sport and stay in the best physical condition to succeed. And that's the end of my presentation. Thank you for watching.